We are still chatting with award-winning author, speaker, educator, and civil rights leaders, Malcolm X's daughter, Ilyasah Shabazz.
Yes, and in honor of Black History Month, who currently inspires you, Ilyasah?
Oh my goodness. I would say in the wake of George Floyd's death, there were so many young people who marched and protested, expressing their anger over systemic oppression and racial injustice towards Black Americans. In this country, we had participating 50 states. Abroad, there were 18 countries. And so I honor all of these young leaders who actively drove change from Black Lives Matter, social justice, champion of civil rights, equality, and economic and social justice, to food warriors and healthcare advocates. I am so honored by the work that you've done, and I stand with you 100%.
Definitely. And you know, you're just a wonderful writer. Your latest book, The Awakening of Malcolm X, focuses on your father's adolescence, his years in prison when he was an adolescent. Now, why would you say prison reform is so important now more than ever?
Well, there are approximately 3 million people in our nation's prison today. And I have a quote: while only 32% of the US population is African American and Latinx, 56% of the incarcerated population is people of color. And in 2012, the United States spent $81 billion taxpayer dollars on correctional facilities, not on education, not on after-school programs, but on correction facilities. And since 1970, the incarcerated population has increased by 700%. 700%. And this is what's happening to our children. And so each one of us must ask ourselves, will we be a part of the problem by doing nothing, or will we be a part of the solution? And I hope that we will all be a part of the solution.
Definitely.
We should all be. Well said. I have to ask you, do you think the U.S. government will ever make Malcolm X's birthday a federal holiday?
Well, listen, when we realize the U.S. government those are people, right? And so it's a matter of believing in the work that we're doing. If we decide that we want to make the U.S. government, to make Malcolm X a national holiday, then we just have to be willing to do the work. There are 8,600,000,000 people in the world, and 20% are non-white. 80% are people of color. And I think that there are enough of us that believe that our children should be learning truth, compassion, all the things that Malcolm, evoked.
What do you want people to know about your father, Malcolm X's legacy?
Oh, boy. When I look at my father, knowing that he was younger than I am today, and knowing this significant sacrifice, dedication, hard work that it took for him to accomplish what he did, and that it was a selfless act, it was for others, that during the 1950s and 60s that he would travel abroad when it wasn't popular to do so. And it's not like he was traveling with an assistant or with security. He traveled alone. And when I think about the work that he did, when, here we are in this country, and I don't know if we fully understand, but our human rights weren't acknowledged. Our humanity was not acknowledged. And for him to go to another country, several countries, and be received and treated for the first time in his life as a dignitary, and understanding that he was searching for solutions to this human condition of injustice, and all that he sacrificed.
Your father's autobiography is historic. People should not only read your books, but they should read the autobiography of Malcolm X. The sacrifice that you and your family has had to make was for all of us. So I want to personally say thank you. That's the reason why we had you on today. Thank you so much for everything. And you keep continuing living his legacy.
Yes, and the
Thank
same
you so
emotion
much.
you get stirs within all of us. So, Ilyasah, thank you so much for just taking the time to shed light on what we need to understand and giving us so much perspective. We are so grateful for all that you do and all that your family has done. Now, be sure to get a copy of her book, The Awakening of Malcolm X by Ilyasah Shabazz, which is available now.